Sure. It's summertime, and in fact, one of the events that y'all have in the summer, I just interrupted you from. Tell me about what's going on in the summer here in Honea Path.
So Captain Morris and Chief Bozeman and all the police department put on a kids camp. Starting last year was the first one here in Honea Path, and this week's the second annual kids camp for the police department, putting that on over at the rec center. And kids have a lot of activities to do. They play in kickball, they swimming in the pool, they got plenty of food to eat and drinks. And you know, I really got to say that none of the money spent on this come from the taxpayers. Every dime of this money was either donated or fundraising or shirt sales, or we had a hash cooking and sale to raise money. So they've over and beyond done you know, what they need to do to fund this without using a dime of taxpayers' money.
Well, getting back to normal, what's going on in Honea Path this summer?
So we're having our first annual Independence celebration. We don't want to call it Independence Day because it's going to be on the 3rd instead of the 4th because of Saturday reasons, of course. Going to have bouncy houses for the kids. The pool's going to be open for free. We're going to have 5 bands culminating with the Combo Kings at 7 o'clock. And at dark, we're going to have a huge fireworks. And with that being said, I do need to plug a few sponsors, if you don't mind. Classic Carolina Ford, huge contributor to the town. They are also sponsoring the fireworks show. They're always willing to help and donate when we ask. Classic Pontiac Rescue, Joe Jackson and his crew down there, they're doing a cruise in for the event, and they as well are huge supporters of the town and just trying to bring people to town and, you know, get to know Honea Path. So we got some prizes donated by area businesses that we're going to raffle off, and also we're going to have a couple of thousand promotional items for the town of Honea Path itself, maybe some bracelets, some cups, some rubber band bracelets, cups, maybe some lanyards, stuff like that. We're still in the process of working out the details, but we're going to have a booth set up at our July 3rd event for, you know, advertising Honea Path. We want to grow. We want people to come. We want to have a good time and let people enjoy themselves. And this is all being funded through donations, sponsors, and some hospitality funds that were put in place for such things to bring people to town, and we've requested some funds there. But most of this is also sponsor driven and donations.
You mentioned it. How important are sponsors to putting on events in small towns?
Oh, it's huge, and our businesses here in Honea Path are great, and we got 32 as quick as we asked. We had 32 sponsors, and their sponsorship's going to help us pay for our ad in the Chronicle. It's also going to pay for a mailer that we're going to send out within the 29654 area code. So Honea Path's businesses is our backbone right now. You know, our industry's gone. Chicola mill shut down. Some of the other mills either shut down or cut way back. So our businesses, our retail, and as much as our food and all our businesses go, this is very pro-business, and we thank them tremendously because they help a lot voluntarily. I know taxes help the town, but these businesses go above and beyond just their taxes, and they donate prizes and donate money, and businesses in Honea Path are awesome. They really work with the town.
Let's talk about that for a minute. How are the businesses going here? How's economic development looking in Honea Path?
We do have some businesses that's moved in within the last year and a half or so. Got several more looking to come to Honea Path. It's going to be great for the town. I can't really divulge a lot right now since it's in the planning stages. But we have business. I think we've had 5 or 6 open up since I've been mayor. Some of that may have been in the works before I was mayor, of course. And but we're definitely growing, and we look to continue that.
What about the housing market? We talked about that a little bit several months ago. How's the housing market looking in Honea Path?
So right now, most of the houses being sold are at or above retail, what people expected their house to bring. Honey Path's a booming economy right now as far as housing goes. Every day I see on Facebook people looking for places to rent. We're about out of rental places. Every house that goes on the market in the last year, I think, sold within a week. I mean, a buddy of mine put his house on the market Saturday, and he had 5 showings the next day. And Monday, he got a cash offer, a little bit more than what he was asking. Just with the understanding they'll be out in 2 weeks, they offered him a little bit more money because they was ready to get down here. So, and my buddy was pretty much halfway moved out already, so he was able to do that pretty easily.
So people are moving in from a lot of other places.
Absolutely. And so I work in Simpsonville, and just to touch on that a little bit, Simpsonville's exploding also. Every time I go through there, I see another subdivision. What I think people are doing is they want that small town feel. Simpsonville, like I said, is blowing up and it's getting huge. Greer's growing, some towns, and Greenville's where the base of the industrial, jobs are. So people don't mind driving 30 miles to work now to have the hometown, small town feel. So I believe people are coming to Honey Path and probably Donalds and Duess and Hodges and Belton to get away from traffic on Woodruff Road or, having to drive up and down 85 every day. So, Honey Path is definitely receiving a lot of interest right now from people wanting to move here. It's just great for the town. We're excited about the future.
You've got a great downtown. I mean, just the way it's set up. You've got one of the best downtowns. It always, I think a lot of people come to the parade just because it's a great place downtown to have an event or something. How's downtown doing?
So we've got some businesses opened up on down and going on downtown here recently. We do still have some empty buildings, and we got some problems downtown that we need to address. Just like every small town, we don't have a money tree. So doing what we want to do and being able to afford what we want to do is two different things. So we do have some plans to revitalize a little bit more downtown and hopefully bring some businesses in. One of the things, the festival that we're having in October plus the July 3rd event is, show people, hey, Honey Path's a place to live and do business. So we're hoping that people will get interested and we'll get some businesses.
We'll talk about it a little bit more in September, I guess. But let's talk about, you talking about other events coming up. What other events are coming up?
I know for sure that the police department is going to sponsor a pizza with the police. That's going to be sometime in August. Under my direction and Chief Bozeman's leadership, we decided we wanted to give back to the community. I want, just like the kids' camps, I want the first interaction with a police officer and hopefully the last to be at a young age and be in a good way. You know what I'm saying? I want the police officers to be known. I want the youth and adults as well to know our police officers by name and spend some time with them when they're not being stopped for speeding or anything like that, because they do have to enforce the law as well. But I think a good relationship with the community is key to growing as a community.
And then, of course, the big event. Tell me a little bit about the big event. It's a little early. We'll talk about it more later. We'll talk about this year being able to open back up.
Sure. October 9th, we're planning on having our fall festival again, and that's when we're going to have our honey sopping, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's a biscuit and honey, and first one to whistle after they eat it wins. I gotta say, Marty Fleming is the reigning champion, so he's looking forward to continuing his reign. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of activities, a much larger crowd, a much larger day, if you will, coming in October for our fall festival. We're excited. The planning committee's excited, and we got the Civitans are now working with us, and they're doing the parade and the music for the July 3rd, and we got Joe Jackson at Classic Pontiac Rescue. He's working close with us he's bringing people to town every Saturday for cruise-ins, and it's just, the town's really buying into a togetherness, if you will, to promote and sponsor these events and activities, because when we bring people to town, they shop and eat in town, so that helps the businesses as well.
So everything, you missed that one last year. Everything's opening back up now. How are the seniors programs and other programs doing now that everything's opening back up?
So most of our programs are back full swing. Just want to plug for a minute, our 10 and under just won the district, and they're going to state. 2 years ago, before COVID hit, they went all the way to Louisiana for the nationals. They didn't win, unfortunately, but they give it their best, and we're proud of them. Right? We are talking about baseball, yes, sir. 10 and under baseball. Like I said, they won the district last night, so they will be going to state. Some of the senior programs hadn't really got started back yet. I think a lot of that's due to some of the seniors are still skeptical about getting, the virus, even though they've had the vaccine. It's a slower process for the seniors to get back in, but we are working towards getting some of them hot shots and whatnot open back up for our seniors. But most of our young adults activities, I think they're all back in full swing. Our girls softballs had a good season, and all the T-ball and up, 10 and under, 12 and under, they're all back playing and wide open. The pool's back open, and like I said, there's about 130 kids down at the rec department right now with the police kids camp. So we're moving forward. We're taking precautions. I think precautions have laxed a lot in the last year, but we're still, keeping things as sanitized as possible and clean.
How's the budget looking?
The budget just started June 1st. Our budget year is June 1st to May 31st. We're a little bit behind on the budget, but we're behind a lot of small towns around here with our fees and our cost also. We're looking at maybe increasing our water and sewer tap fees and maybe our trash pickup to match other communities around. Most of the small towns around Honea Path have already increased most of their fees, and we're still lagging behind, and we're looking to do that. But budget looks good. We got some good things in the budget that's going to help us going forward. One of the things we budgeted for last year and again this year is a grant writer. Miss Jan Bratcher, she's been wonderful. She's written a lot of grants for us, and quite a few have been funded. So we're able to upgrade the facilities at the rec department and some other places through federal grants. So that money does not come out of the taxpayers' budget. So I think that's one of the good things we've done. But we'll see. We'll see as the year progresses. If things keep going good, we should be in good shape by next budget year.
How is recreation going in general? How's the recreation program going here?
Rec Director Pace, Tim Pace, he's doing an excellent job over at the rec department. You can't make everybody happy, but I think he's doing the best he can with the equipment he's got. We've recently purchased him a tractor for dragging the fields and moving dirt and whatnot. And through a grant, we was able to build a building over there at the rec department for him to park some stuff under lock and key, of course, and keep it out of the weather. Hopefully the equipment will last longer if it's out of the weather in a building. Rec department's going great. Like I said, our 10 and under's going to state. All the other teams had a good year. Pool's open, been open for about a week now. It's being used about on the same amount as always. So there's some money coming in there to help Tim and his budget. We're just trying to upgrade the facilities. It's going to take time, and one of my goals, if elected again, this is not a first-term goal, but a second-term goal would be, love to see a gym over in the rec department area with some basketball goals inside. Maybe we could start a basketball league as well, maybe have some tournaments here in Honea Path.
And one of the things we talked about last time, y'all had added a truck to do some picking up of stuff. How's that going?
So we bought a new trash truck.
Trash truck, that's what it was.
Yeah, we bought a new trash truck, and it was delivered last week. We're still trying to break it in slowly, so we hadn't used it a lot on the routes. The old one's still chugging along barely. So it's real nice, and I told them the other day, I said I want this trash truck to look like it did today a year from now, and with washing and taking care of it. And of course they agreed. We also bought a new trailer, and what we do is we loan the trailers and trucks out to residents. So when a landlord evicts somebody or somebody's moving, and when you move, you throw about half your stuff away and don't take it with you, instead of piling it on the sidewalk and waiting on the maintenance crew to come by and pick it up a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however far behind they are. We loan out these trailers and trucks, so once you tote it out of the house, you can put it in a trailer and we'll come get it and haul it off within a day or two instead of having to wait on the tractor to come around. The main reason for that is several things. You set a bunch of stuff out on the road, and you got people that want to drive by and stop and go through it and scatter it out everywhere. You also got, wildlife plus domesticated animals, dogs and cats, and they like to scratch and claw and go through it and, scatter it out, and it makes a mess in town. So since we've implemented the barring of town trucks and trailers for people, the town looks as clean as I've seen it in 20 years. But it's working real well. People have really bought into that, especially landlords. They realize, hey, bring me a trailer, I can fill it up and it's gone the next day. They ain't got to worry about, wait until that pile of debris is gone before they can rent it, because it won't pass fire inspection if there's a big pile of furniture and whatnot in the yard. So it's going well. It's going real well.
You got any other goals or anything else going on this summer you want to talk about?
We just had our blood drive. Unfortunately for the blood connection, we only had 16 volunteers this year, but the problem is, this is a good problem to have though. They had several blood drives in May in town, one of the churches and one of the schools. I know of at least 2 in May, and you can't give blood but every 8 weeks. So although the second annual mayor's blood drive only draw 16 pints, the town itself probably was closer to 100 for the last 2 months or so. So we'll continue to do that every June. It's going to be the second Saturday in June every year, blood drive. I do want to mention we honored the previous mayor, Lawless Myers. He was mayor for 21 years. We honored him with a service award at the council meeting in May, and we also designated August 27th as Lawless Myers Day, as his birthday. And August 27th, we will have some type of fundraiser for the free clinic that he was very instrumental in bringing the Honea Path. So, want to make sure he get that name out, get his name out there. He done a lot for this town, and we recognize it.
That free clinic's an important part of the community.
Absolutely, a lot of people use the free clinic. It's I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but they're not 7 days a week or 8 hours a day or whatever, but they do have times that they come, and it's on the back of the police department. It's a building connected, of course, from the outside, and yeah, it's huge for the town, and we just appreciate it being here. Yes, sir.
When are elections this year in Honea Path?
So the elections follow the first Tuesday in November, just like unless it's a special election. So this year up for elections, Ward 1, 3, and 5. And in 2 years from now, it'll be Wards 2, 4, 6, and the mayor's position. So we will have elections in November this year to replace or keep the 3 that represents 1, 3, and 5. Looking forward to that. We just had a special election. Andy Sullivan in Ward 1, he resigned and moved closer to his children. We wish him well. We had a special election. We had 2 candidates, Travis Bradley and Earl Ashley. Earl Ashley won the election by 6 or 7 votes, I think. So not really a good turnout on the election, but normally on special elections you don't have a big turnout. So Earl will fill that spot until November, and then he'll be able to put his hat back in August and run in November if he wants to remain on council. So we look forward to seeing how that election goes. A couple of months ago, maybe a half a year ago or so, we had some grant money to test the site, and instead of moving a pile from one spot to the other, I said, hey, let's put it on a truck and get it out of here. So through some small funds from the town, mostly it was a grant, brownfield grant for cleaning up mill sites. We were able to remove about 104 million pounds. I think I got that number right, which is tremendous. Now there's still an eyesore over there, and it's still a lot to be done, but we're doing a little bit at a time. So we're about to request another grant that I think we can twist a little bit around, move some ideas here and there, and possibly get another 104 million pounds removed. So we're hoping to have it cleaned up. If nobody else wants to take over it for us and clean it up and put something over there to make money on, I think the town eventually can get it cleaned up in the course of 5 to 8 more years, probably.
Remind people why that's an important site.
Chicola Mill is very instrumental in the town of Honea Path. It supported the town tremendously over the years until it closed down, of course. A lot of people don't know, but there's a lot of history at that mill. Back in the 1930s, there was a strike, and from what little bit I understand about it, I've done some research, but town people around here don't want to talk about it. It was hush hush for years and years. But back in the 30s, 7 textile employees at Chicola Mill were shot and killed during a strike there, and there's some monuments around the site that once it gets cleaned up, we're going to remove them monuments and place them in a prominent place in town, if not back on the site, depending on what the owner, if somebody buys it, wants to do there. But Chicola Mill supported this town for years and years, and we surely miss that it's gone now. But like I said, a lot of history there, and we do want to keep the monuments and keep them in a prominent place in town to remind people, because if you ignore or forget history, it's bound to repeat itself. So we need a constant reminder of some of the atrocities that have happened in the past.
And eventually down the road a spell, when that property's completely cleaned up, that'll be a good location for something.
Yes. If somebody wants to take over and clean it up, of course it'll be theirs to do whatever business they decide within the guidelines of the ordinances and state law. One of my plans, if we get it completely cleaned up, because it belongs to the town currently, if we can get it cleaned up ourselves, the ideas are unlimited. We could build a huge park. We could put a strip mall, something for the citizens to shop at, or something free for the citizens to use. When we get closer to having that spot clean, we'll probably form a committee to sit down and see what's the best use for the town of Honea Path for that land. When I become mayor, I had a grand illusion of changing everything overnight, and I tell you that I was quickly informed of the do's and don'ts as mayor, what I can and can't do, and where the funds have to come from. One thing I can assure you is we're going to do the best we can, and with these festivals, I believe we bring in people to town. If they're interested in town, the town will grow. I think if we get around 5,000, we're about 4,000 people right now. I think if we can get to 5,000, we could probably persuade another grocery store to come into town, and with the grocery store, it's going to bring quite a few more businesses. I don't want to see Honea Path turn into a Greer or Simpsonville or Anderson or Greenville or anything like that, but around 5,000 would be huge for the town. So with growth comes opportunity, and with opportunity comes a bigger tax base, and at that point I think we can give a lot back to the community as far as lowering base rates on water and sewer and stuff like that. So we're working hard. Just know that Honea Path's budget is tight, and we're gonna do our best. And if you hadn't been to Honea Path lately, come on out and see what we're doing. Come and visit and shop and see what's going on.